Pirates find a player in the middle of the field. Trying to connect a few passes here. Knights with a turnover. Sharma team seems to be the target here. It's Emerson Kennedy in the offensive third. She has a bit of a window. She cannot get there. That will be another, looks to be offsides called there. Tried to find a teammate that was not inbounds, or not in the right right section of the field there. Be a goal kick from Pirates. Finds a player in the middle of the field. She connects her triangle there, finds her wing back. And a nice tackle from Kylie Ramirez. Cross fields there. Addy Butler taking up the field. She finds Shalini. Overlap. That one won't fall. Shalini breaks up a good pass there. Ivan, we've seen a lot of back and forth here. We're seeing both of these teams trying to build through the back here as Jenna Smith gets a little bit of action here. And a nice ball from the back. That one will not find Shalini, but as I said right before, Shalini seems to be the target here, building the offense on that right side. For the Knights, try to even it out a little bit, right? You don't want to get too clogged up on one side of the field. Morgan Smith finds her wing back. Nice move. She's just going to clear it out there. Looking for Shalini once again. Throw in from the St. Charles Pirates. She connects the pass there. Finds her target man, the striker. Connecting a triangle. Back to the striker up top. Breakaway from the Knights that does not develop. Lexi Lones taking on her defender in a bit of a truck there. She's taking it up the field. Nobody in front, a lot of green grass. She looks at Emerson Kennedy. Finds Shalini in the middle of the field. Gains control. Claire Brightwell over on that right wing. Deflected off the Pirates. Emerson right in front of the goal. Won't get a shot. And that one will go over the goal. Goal kick for the Pirates.
Nice field goal there by the Knights.
Good one there. That'll be in the middle of the field. Morgan Smith plays it off her head. Goes to the Pirates. A pass down the sideline. Won't stay in bounds. Ellie McCoy with the throw in here. Another player we mentioned before at the beginning of the game. Ivan, big player for these Knights. She's in at left back tonight as Claire Brightwell takes it up that right sideline. Brightwell tries to put it in the middle of the box. That one will not go to the right team there.
A lot of turnovers here earlier in this game. Whether it's going out of bounds, really for both teams. But I guess that's how soccer is.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, very early in the season for both of these teams. The Knights, their first game of the season. Same thing for the Pirates. You know, they're going to build that chemistry. They haven't really had in-game experience yet. As Ellie McCoy looks to take this foul kick.
Crazy. It's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy.
Brightwell has it in the offensive third. She connects it to her target man. Back and forth in the midfield. Captain Morgan Smith tries to connect a pass there. Bit of a breakaway from the Pirates. Stopped by Miss Morgan Smith. Lone Ace knocks out of bounds there. Will stay. That will be night ball.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong there. Good old grab the ball and just throw it from Ellie there. Make sure you keep the possession, but the refs did not let her get away with it. Shalini playing on that left side of the field. They try to connect a pass to that right sideline, but nobody's there to receive the ball. A little bit of a blunder there. Yeah, Ivan, we're looking at this Friday night, a little brisk, but definitely excitement in the air, right? Spring break net coming up this week. Prom just right around the corner. What are your spring break plans, Ivan?
Heading up to Milwaukee with the family. Gonna go watch the Knicks game, but outside of that, just
It's
sitting at home,
exciting.
watching some March Madness. That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. Yeah. How's your bracket looking?
What I put in for the school could be better, but my own bracket doing pretty well. I think I'm top 300,000 right now.
There you go. Well, the thing I was talking with a lot of people, with everything being digitalized, nobody fills out those handwritten brackets. I kind of miss it, don't you?
Yeah, I mean,
There's something nostalgic about handwriting your full bracket, right?
I don't think I was ever there. I'm a little too young for that and got into the scene a little too late.
Ivan, you're making me sound all old, man.
Dude, I'm sorry, but it's just how it is. You might be.
Looking back, Maddie Brewer pushes it into the offensive third. Pass finds Emerson Kennedy. Big fall in the box. Will that be a foul called? They will call that offsides. Rough blow.
Yeah, looked like Kennedy was out behind those defenders there. Honestly, I don't find that to be too bad of a call.
No, I fully agree. Offsides is one of those things where it can be very opinionated and a very that's the perspective that the referee saw, but it's one of those things that you want to call it safer rather than sorry, and you don't want to let an offensive player have a step ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's either obvious or very contested.
Yeah.
No in between.
But yeah, Ivan, we're in this first game of the season for these Knights. When we look back to last year, very senior heavy team. When we look just behind or between the two goalposts, last year's senior Cassie Hodgkins played a big bulk of those minutes. Cassie Hodgkins, 1,200 minutes between the posts last year, and Jenna Smith out there today. She had 200 minutes last year, so got a little bit of experience, a loss under her belt. Hodgkins went 6-12 there. And then when we look in the outfield, again, we're not seeing as much senior turnover. I mentioned her before, but Lexi Lonace, 8 goals on the season last year, so somebody to watch out for again this year. Emerson Kennedy, we've talked about her a few times tonight, and obviously the captain, Morgan Smith, in the middle. Big players to watch out for. And cut off the pass there.
Down to Bleinberg.
McCoy she finds her captain. Through ball to Shalini. Will she get there? Not quite. Rolls into the track equipment. Fun little thing to find here, Ivan. Addy Butler played 1 minute between the posts last year. The right back, obviously, tonight, but I guess 89th minutes at some point they put Addy back there, so that's pretty interesting.
Doesn't appear like she let in a goal though.
There you go. Hey, just percentages. It sounds like she's the best goalie on the roster.
Yeah, I mean,
Morgan Smith battles in the middle of the field there. She finds Brightwell. Out to Ramirez. She finds McCoy. Back to Brightwell. Out to the right back, Butler. Butler fights to get an angle. That one will roll out of the back of the field. That'll be another goal kick. Opposite sides here this time. You're going to pack that box if you're the Knights trying to get a goal here. Set piece. All they've had is practices up to this point. So Ivan, they definitely are familiar with what the routine is in this part of the field. It's a bit of a scrum in the middle.
Yeah, but you got to think about not having a whole lot of experience prior to this first real game. I mean, most of the sports have a jamboree or a scrimmage of some sort. Nothing for this squad yet.
That will also be deflected out of bounds. Will that be another corner? It appears so. Short corner there. Shot hits that side netting. Will be a goal kick. Pirates can take a bit of a deep breath here. Plays it back to her goalkeeper. I expect a big punt here. She does not. She plays it out of the back. Kylie Ramirez hot on her trail. That'll be a deflection off of her. Stays Pirate ball. Ivan, definitely a slow-paced game to start here. But like most soccer games, but I expect to see a bit of a faster pace here once these two teams get comfortable. I almost view it, I think back to NFL preseason, we see it very, very slow. And as the preseason progresses, they definitely get a lot faster. Their conditioning gets a little better. I could imagine this being a similar situation with these girls as Butler plays it, or excuse me, Brewer plays it to her fellow senior Butler.
Yeah, I mean, heading back to that preseason talk, I mean, in the NFL,
Sharma, just a bit too long. We'll get to that Pirate goalkeeper.
I mean, they get much more acquainted with each other. I mean, learn the playbook a little more. I'm not sure if there's plays in soccer.
Yeah, there's plays.
Plays.
Plays in the offensive third for sure.
Mm-hmm. Moving around, setting screens of sorts. Yeah,
but Ivan, I'd almost argue that you have to have even stronger team chemistry, at least with the entire team when soccer, right? Because, right. Offense and defense are a bit separated here, but with soccer, you have to have full synergy with the whole team because you have that midfield connecting the two. So we see that student section starting to fill out a little bit more.
Another offsides. Nope.
And that will be the first goal of the affair. Kyler Ramirez responsible for that one. Big hugs around the team as they strike first. And 24 minutes into this affair, Knights take a 1-0 lead. Ivan, looking back to the stats last year, Kylie did not bag a goal last year, so that is her first goal on varsity. Congratulations, Kylie.
Yeah, not only on the year, but for her career.
Awesome. It's Knights quick back on the attack. Put that pressure on him. Good head ball from Morgan.
Fortunately finds the foot of a Pirate defender.
It's Olivia Krazel. Finds her wing back. Play it to Shalini on that right wing. She looks to find a pass. Addy Butler, her wing back, overlapping. Plays it to her. She's going to look for a through ball in the corner. Played in the middle of the field. That one will not find her teammate, though. Playing around with it right outside that box. Ramirez with it yet again with the golden foot. Smith takes it. That one will not find her teammate.
Loses it, trying to find some green grass there, I guess.
Tries to keep in that offensive third. Sharma takes on a defender. Excuse me, Emerson Kennedy. But that one will roll out the back of the field. That will be another corner kick. Ivan, after the slow start, the Knights have definitely picked it up a little bit here. They haven't left the offensive third in a few minutes.
Yeah, definitely applying a lot of pressure here on these Pirates. Duel of some olden time warriors, I guess.
And that's a great goal from Emerson Kennedy off the woodwork and in. They had a football scrum at the back there. Oh, no.
Oop, appears someone's down. That's not good.
That is not good.
Oh.
You hate to see that.
Yeah.
Ellie McCoy is grabbing at her knee after that one. Hope nothing bad. Excuse me, that is Olivia Krazel. Krazel is still down. Coaches and the trainers are attending to her. We hope all the best. As we look with 22 minutes left in this first half, 2-0 the score.
It's never good to have an injury, but
it's even worse while you're celebrating,
very
right?
Unfortunate way.
You hate to see that. Just getting excited for a teammate and something obviously went wrong. You hate to see that. Time for both teams to talk it over. Ivan, if you're in that Pirate huddle, what are you talking about, right? You haven't been able to get the opposing team out of your offensive third. Is it do they need to push the ball up the field a little bit more, would you think?
I feel like the Knights have done a really good job of, like, once it gets past that half field line, they just clear it out right away. Get it back down the field. I think St. Charles needs to start doing that as Olivia Krazel gets back on her feet here, walking towards the sideline.
That's good to see. Seems to be limping a little bit. Have the trainer check her out and get her back on the field.
See anybody hopping in for?
Both teams running back onto the field. But like I said right before, 22-41 left in this first half of play. 2-0 the score. As these Knights are talking it over, they'll restart it from half field after the score. But like you were saying right before, Ivan, the Knights have done a really great job of that backfield in closing the Pirates and keeping them on the half they want them to be on, right? They're playing a 3-5-3, keeping the opposing side very enclosed. But it also is very good for their offense, right? We're talking about those two wing backs in the defense. They play almost similar to a midfielder, but they do have that defensive responsibility. Like we saw from Kylie Ramirez, she was one of those wingbacks that scored the goal. She has the opportunity to come up with the forwards and be a part of that offense, but she also has that responsibility that she needs to make sure that winger does not get behind those three center backs. So, great players are always the ones that play the wingbacks. Kylie Ramirez, Addy Butler, really great players.
Similar to like a midfielder in lacrosse, really.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, midfielder, except they have double the defensive responsibility.
Right.
See another trip there.
Maybe.
How windy this game is, I'm sure that probably plays a factor. Ivan, I was out there earlier. It was hard to keep my balance.
I mean, I'm a big guy. I had to use all my strength to hold that door open against the wind. it's blowing.
It is blowing. I'm sure it plays a factor in playing around with the ball, right? Those goalies are punting it out of their end zone or out of their area, and depending on what side of the field they're on, that's either a really hard kick or wow, that thing went far.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the Knights clearing it out well, it was blowing down. Don't know my cardinal directions very well.
That's all right, Ivan. I don't have a compass with me either.
Like south-southeast, I'm gonna guess.
There you go.
Which is like the exact way that north is clearing the ball out, so I think that wind's definitely giving them a bit of an advantage there.
I'd say lick your finger and stick it in the air, but we're in this enclosed press box, which is pretty nice. But
yeah,
Knights play it back to their defense. Connect a pass. Kylie Ramirez has it on the wing, and a rough first touch there that will end up getting cleared out on the sideline. That will stay Knight ball, and it appears Ramirez will be the one to take that throw in. So Knights continue to put on that pressure as they will find Ellie McCoy there.
Speaking of the indoor press box, I was talking with Braeden earlier. If we had some Bluetooth mics, I'd love to call a game on top of this thing.
Well, maybe not
But-
today.
Yeah, definitely not today. Probably wouldn't be able to hear me
On a
very
day
well.
less windy, Ivan, let's do it.
If we can.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Connects the pass there. Morgan Smith juking her around. Finds McCoy. McCoy crosses fields. Sharma with a great touch to gain control. She will not keep that control, though. The Pirates are pushing.
Another one of those wind-assisted clearouts.
Oh, certainly. Bit of a rainbow over Sharma there. But yeah, talking more about that night formation, with those two wing backs, you create a lot of pressure on those wings whenever teams try to build on those sidelines, because there is so many players that are standing on those sidelines. It creates an interesting opportunity. I'd say the weakness is you just have less players in the middle of the field,
Right.
but it just requires a really strong defense. I talked highly about those wing backs, but those center backs have an even bigger responsibility now. We're looking at Micah, we're looking at Ellie McCoy, and we're looking at Maddie Brewer. They have a big responsibility to make sure nobody gets through them, but they also need to rely on those wing backs to have their back.
I mean, what would be like a prototypical soccer defense here, or soccer formation?
The prototypical one you'll see across all soccers, you'll see that 4-4-2 very often. You'll see 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 attackers up top. You see a few variations of that. Sometimes you see 5 in the back. Sometimes you see 3. It all depends on how you structure your midfield is the main way that you would go about changing that. But it's interesting to see. I've always been one that I like the 2 wing backs that are playing more like midfielders, so I'm definitely a fan of what Coach Havermill has going on here. But yeah, 4-4-2 is typical to answer your question.
I mean, most of the time whenever I hear numbers like those, as a football player myself, I think of a football defensive formation,
Yeah.
given both teams have 11 players on defense. And with those formations, it's
Yeah.
normally they don't talk about like the secondary, so it'd be like a 5-2 or like a 4-3 or a 3-4.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's similar to that. Yeah, you're starting on the back line and moving forward. It's similar to defense where you're starting on that D line and moving backwards.
Right, I got you.
So Pirates try to connect some passes here. Have not had too much possession of the ball here in these last 10 minutes, as we're looking at about 17 minutes left in this first half. Pirates building some triangles here.
Seeing if they can't get something going. Unfortunately, that pass finds Ellie McCoy. And
A deep one through the defense. Jenna Smith will get there. Pick that one up. Wind blowing at Jenna. We'll see what she decides to do here. Holds it for a second. Collects her defense. She will punt it. Excuse me, I said that incorrectly. The wind is blowing with her, so she decides to punt there. Ramirez saves it from the sidelines. Not quite. Tricky turf there. Turf monster bit her there. Similar to the travel monster. Still used to the winter.
yeah, I haven't heard that term since October.
Travel monster? Or
Turf
turf
monster,
monster,
yeah.
yeah. Oof, and it looks like a rough step for Kylie. It looks like she's grabbing it at her lower leg area. It's Lone Ace all by herself. Looks to be a rough touch. She loses control. Brightwell tries to recover for her teammate. We've been talking a lot about this defense, Ivan, but I think the biggest thing is that these offensive players have really transitioned well and have tried to enclose their defense and switch roles a bit and play some really great defense. It's been good to see.
Yeah, got to keep. Honestly, their best thing they've done here is keep all of those St. Charles players in their offensive third.
Yeah,
Make it easy for those back wings to clear out, for their goalie to clear out. Just keep pressure off their defense, honestly.
Yeah, I've been coming from a former soccer player myself. Like it's, coaches very much talk about pressure, pressure, pressure. It's great to see these players take it very seriously. As rough touch from Kylie Ramirez there. Looked to be a shot, but could not get on the right end of that ball.
I mean, back in my time, could catch me on the Veta fields.
Okay.
Big box goalie guy.
I did not know Mr. Ivan Pitts was a soccer player.
Yeah, no, I wasn't the greatest. Didn't like it a whole lot. According to my dad, I was not a fan of the ball not being in my hands or on my feet. Excuse me.
I remember those days. This is a great shot from Lexi Lones to build this lead to 3-0 as we look at 14 minutes to go in this first half. It's starting to pull away from these Pirates. High-scoring affair here as these sophomores and juniors keep reeling it in.
I mean, seems like a lot of those wing players have been scoring. Even if they have defensive priorities, that's giving them trouble on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, or side of the field, excuse me.
Morgan Smith doing her job to keep these Pirates on the side of the field that she gets to attack on. Ball will be restarted around that 40-yard line.
45 there.
Bad spot on my end there.
It's pretty good. I mean, last game we called you, you were being generous.
I
keep it going.
I'm a generous guy. It's Mari Jones. Too long for that one. Mira's aggressive to keep that ball out of bounds. Claire Brightwell takes up that sideline. Loses control, but does not quit the effort. And a big-time foul. Ramirez takes a big tumble. We'll see a free kick near that sideline. Excuse me, that foul got placed on the Knights there. I didn't see the scrum really well, but surprised to see the player on the ground get called with the foul.
Oop.
Brightwell knocks that kick down. Brightwell, high energy here on this sideline. The Pirates just kick it out of bounds there, allow themselves to get reset. She will take that throw in. Excuse me, Ramirez will. Sharma on the opposite side of the field. She takes big touch that will not stay in bounds. Tricky move from that Pirate defender. Morgan Smith in between two passes there. Kate Vernon breaks it up. Finds her teammate right back to Vernon. Brewer finds somebody out wide. Ramirez gains possession. She'll play it back. McCoy right back to her. Ramirez with some open grass in front of her. She'll play it to Smith. Very possession-oriented game thus far for these Knights, and it's clearly worked very well when we look up at that scoreboard. Up 3-0. No reason to change anything yet. And then Vernon will play a ball that will not stay in bounds. Will go out of bounds, Pirate ball.
Might have been that wind in effect once again. As tassels on the goalpost showing it's blowing to the right of this field a little bit.
Mari Jones tries to gain control there. Ivan, we hit on it earlier, but such a young roster for these Knights. 5 seniors on the entire roster, and only 3 of them in that starting lineup. So definitely some young players are going to play some key roles for these Knights, as we see senior Maddie Brewer just miss her target there.
Yeah, I mean, you can very much see play like this.
And really the first breakaway for these Pirates, they'll play it in the middle, and that one will not go their way. A head ball that does not quite meet the goal. Ramirez plays with it in the corner, and that ball will get chased out. Night ball.
Going back to what Braeden was saying about this being a young squad, I mean, you can expect to see play like this heading into the next maybe year or two, because we've only got, 5 juniors, 6 juniors?
Yeah, not a ton. A ton of sophomores on this roster. I see over 7.
Yeah, very sophomore heavy team. Unlike many other sports at our school.
Yeah, I think in general at a varsity level you see more upperclassmen than you do see under. But this soccer team obviously a big exception. Some of these really high level players obviously are juniors and seniors, but the bulk of this roster is coming from those young players that are set to play big roles.
Yeah, I mean a lot of players nowadays will.
Sharma and Jones.
Ooh,
big tumble for Sharma. Jones taking on 3 by herself. She cannot get it done. That ball will get poked away.
Yeah, a lot of these young players will join clubs and really improve their skills before even reaching the high school level to a point where they can get on varsity immediately or in their sophomore year.
Smith deep in that offensive third for the first time really this game. She has not been a big part of the offensive attack, but has definitely been a big part of the transition to that offensive attack as she plays a nice ball into the middle. Brightwell gets a good foot on it, but that will be saved by that Pirate goalkeeper. Brightwell tries to regain possession immediately. Smith plays it out wide to Portell. Portell with some green grass in front of her. Smith hangs back to cover her position. Brewer loses possession. Bit of a breakaway for these Pirates. 3-on-1. And a big tumble. Brewer appeared to trip her there. Will that be a foul in her favor? Referee comes to talk to Brewer. That will be a foul on Brewer. No card will be shown. I'm sure a warning.
Definitely with a trip like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to address it if you're a referee. It's a tough balance to walk, because a lot of those tumbles, a lot of those falls can be very unintentional, but it can be a big time show. So you want to make sure these players know, hey, don't do that again.
Mm-hmm.
No one gets poked out to that right sideline. Brewer, the one to try to clear it, deflected, hits onto that St. Charles bench. We tick almost under that 7-minute mark in this first half. Been a very strong one for these Knights. Very offensive oriented. This is the first time we've seen them in this defensive half, really in a while. They've done a really great job in keeping this Pirate squad in their defensive side of the half. Been a really great showing for the Knights, and for the Pirates, a lot to work on here. You got to work through that big defensive press that the Knights have going. Interesting half up to this point. We saw Olivia Grazel get hurt earlier in the half after that second goal. We have not seen her back on the field. We hope she is okay. Big throw-in from the Pirates. It'll land right in front of the center back.
Cleared very well there by Smith. Booted it from the 5-yard line to the opposing 45.
That'll be another Pirate ball. Saw Sharma chase after that onto the track, but it does not appear that it will stay with her team. Big throw-in yet again for the Pirates. That'll land right in front of Brewer. Brewer tries to clear it, deflects off of Pirate. Stay her possession. Shalini tries to throw a leg up there to grab control. Cannot stay.
Very quick throw in there by the Pirates, trying to see if they can't get a fast break.
Yeah, as this time ticks down, you definitely want to try to get something going right before this half. As Jenna Smith wants to do the exact opposite. She's going to slow this game down, try to get her team set, and they can play a little keep away to end this half.
Nice boot there by Smith.
As that ball rolls a little too far, Pirate goalkeeper runs with it all the way to the track equipment. Will be another Pirate ball. Ball shagger gets her a new one. Ivan, I don't know about you, but I think the worst job to have in this time is definitely being one of those players that's to shag balls. I didn't have to do it too often. Usually was on the field, but definitely wouldn't want to do it on this windy day. Those balls are rolling pretty far. It definitely doesn't feel good out there.
Yeah, big baller here, Braeden Kettinger is, even though he got cut.
Ooh, rough subject there, Ivan.
What was that, junior, sophomore year?
Senior year.
Oh, this year. Oh,
Yep.
Wow.
Hey, I tried out. I wanted to give it its full go, and that's all right.
Hey, we were talking earlier. Journalism is your sport now, eh?
Yep. Full-time broadcaster.
Bad subject. My apologies.
I'm messing with you. It's the Pirates into the attack mode here. Butler fighting with her, and that will be another trip. She's the second one to do it. I hope she doesn't get the brute end of the ref. She does not. That will just be another warning.
It didn't even seem like the ref talked to her at all.
No, I am surprised there.
Maybe not even a warning. Just a free kick.
A nice kick from the Pirates.
Ooh.
Big time shot gets deflected. Brightwell gets it out of her area. Jones with a nice touch. Pirate defender gets right in front of it. Ramirez is going to try to find one of her offensive players.
Bit of a shoulder check there. Up to
Portel.
Sharma. Nope. Portel. Excuse me.
Sharma's right in front of her.
Ah. Green cleats. No.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to figure it out based off those.
Yeah, we see some nice cleats out here, Ivan. Definitely. I've always been one for the colorful cleats. I was never a big fan of, just the black or white ones. I was always the kid who was asking my mom, can I get the bright red ones? I want them to be able to easily spot me, like I like Ramirez's cleats down there, bright green.
Brightwell got some bright red ones on, eh?
There you go. My favorite cleats I ever had were bright red Predators. Favorite cleats of all time. Didn't have any laces on them, too. They were just slip-ons. They were awesome.
Back in my day, my favorite shoes, I had these black and yellow. I think they were Batman Skechers.
That is awesome.
With the Velcro. I wish I still had them.
I think as a society, we should listen to little kids more when it comes to shoes.
Bring back Skechers. Bring back Heelys.
Just in general, like the Superman shoes, I would rock some bluey shoes.
Cape coming off the heel.
Yeah.
Rock the bluey shoes with your bluey pajamas.
Yes. Yes, big bluey guy. It's Morgan plays it around in the midfield. A lot of green grass in front of her. She tries to play a through ball to her fullback. Breakaway for these Pirates, 2-on-2. She plays it to her target man. Maybe offsides there. They won't call it there. Brewer clears it. Gets into that offense. That ball run a little long. And just under a minute left in this half. I would not be surprised If we see a lot more of those at the end of this half, as the Knights just want to get into halftime here.
Cleared there by the goalie.
Pirates are going to be in a bit of desperation mode to try to get something going right before this end of this half. Some big passes around the field, playing both sides. Jones keeps it in front of her.
Good defense there by Amari Jones as clock just struck under 15 seconds.
That ball will roll out of bounds. And that will probably be our last play of this first half. Ivan, a really strong one for these Knights, and I can't really say the same for the Pirates. The biggest thing that you go into halftime looking at is need to clean up how you're getting the ball out of your defensive half. There's not been a whole lot of great ball movement once they get to that half line. I can count on my fingers how many offensive breakaways they've had. So the biggest thing is I'd say just separating that back line. We see 3 really strong center backs and 2 wing backs that are playing up and down the sideline. So the biggest thing I would say is definitely try to spread out that defense. And if you're looking for the Knights, I wouldn't say a flawless half, but it's about as close as it's going to get to flawless. Very, very strong. And I'm curious to see how they go into this second half. Definitely playing a bit of keep away with a 3-goal lead. We're going to see about 9 minutes in this halftime. Ivan and I will join you at the beginning of that second half. Hello and welcome back to this second half action. We're about to kick off this second half. When we look at the scoreboard, 40 minutes of this second half, 3-0 the score. North had a great first half and a great first half of their season as they kick off. Big kick for Morgan Smith to get this thing started. Ivan, we saw a lot of offense and a lot of, enclosing the Pirates in on that half. And not a whole lot of offense from the Pirates due to that. I'm sure that was a big part of what the Pirates were talking about at halftime. We saw them sitting down at that corner for a really long time, strategizing how they're going to come out here. A 3-goal lead, not insurmountable, but definitely a lot of work to do, as that's a long ball for Shalini Sharma. She will not get there.
I mean, the field flipping, can all but only thing you can really do for St. Charles is help them out, because it might have been a big factor, but the wind is definitely weighing in on this game.
Oh, for sure.
Especially with North's goalie back to the wind, could clear out punts probably further than a football team could.
Yeah, and you talk about the field flipping. It's symbolic, and it doesn't actually mean anything. But for momentum, it can symbolize what's going on here, as we do see similar things here. The Knights are keeping control in their offensive half, but the Pirates are going to look to connect stronger passes. They're going to keep more possession here. Maybe that field flipping can be the catalyst for that.
Right.
Wind blowing extra hard. We can hear it outside of this press box.
Scared we might go for a bit of a tumble.
Yeah, gosh, I feel bad for any of these parents that are walking up and down these bleachers. It's definitely a tough walk when it feels like 80-mile-per-hour winds blowing right at your face.
It's like on the Stairmaster.
I agree. Emerson Kennedy can't keep that one in. That'll be a Pirate possession. A good ball into Micah Blyberg. A good throw into Amari Jones.
Kate Vernon clears to Maddie Brewer.
Brewer playing on this right side now as to opposed playing on the left in that first half. Swapping around those center backs with Kate Vernon onto the field.
Might just be side and perspective to the goal.
Yeah, I agree. And it could just be as simple as just swapping things around. Some players are specialty to one side, but then there's players like Maddie Brewer where could not mean anything to her, and she just plays center back at wherever spot they tell her. Smith looks to find a pass. Back heel finds McCoy on the other side of the field. McCoy finds Brightwell. Ball right back to her. She'll play it to her keep, Jenna Smith.
Clears it very well, even against that wind.
Brightwell finds Butler on the sideline. Defender quick to it, but she will regain possession, fighting a little bit.
Oop,
Big shove there. Quick to get it back in. Sharma chasing after it. In that final offensive third, can she regain possession? Fighting right against the sideline. That ball will roll out of bounds. That will be night ball. Butler.
Again, quick to toss it in.
Keep that pace going. You have that momentum. Keep it going. So the Pirates now take that momentum Heading down the field with a bit of a breakaway. Vernon playing right at her hip. Morgan Smith makes a big-time stop there. Emerson Kennedy takes a big-time fall there. That's a big-time shove. Slow to get up there. Rough fall.
No call, though.
Yeah, no call. Oh, apologies. That will be a call. Late call. He just did it a little too slow for you, Ivan.
Gotta speed it up, man.
Morgan Smith will be the one to take this kick. Big-time leg on her. I expect this to be right. Oh, never mind. Talking you up, Morgan. There you go. It's just it was the next one. There you go. Lones. Twins. Jinx. Oh, and Lones takes a big-time fall.
Call there.
They're on a football field and they're playing football. Big-time truck there.
Dropping the shoulder here. Like they got pads on. I mean, football. I can see how you get it confused.
Yeah, the Europeans would probably be unhappy with my statement just now. It's football regardless, right?
Yeah. I mean, rugby used to be called football, so.
Yeah. I've played soccer most of my life. I've always just been one for soccer. It gets confusing when you call it football.
Yeah, being raised American.
Yeah, exactly.
It's soccer. Hate to break it to you.
You definitely on the soccer side of things. You don't think
certainly.
it's football?
Certainly.
Well, I guess coming from an American football player,
Right.
it'd be a little confusing to just call both football.
Yeah, I'm not going to call American football in America American football.
Yeah, exactly.
Football.
It's Brightwell tries to connect it to Sharma. A bit too long. The goalkeeper will come in to end that run. A lot stronger defense for these Pirates just 8 minutes in. Cut off a few long passes from the Knights as they look to follow that same formula that has netted them 3 goals. Excuse me. Be another throw in for the Pirates. She'll hand it off to her wingback.
Definitely a lot better offense here in this second half for the Pirates.
Yeah, they've connected their triangles. Played total football like Ted Lasso will teach us.
Hey, football is life.
Positionless football.
Right. If we keep talking Ted Lasso, they might run an actual play.
Yeah, that's true. The Ted Lasso special.
Right. You understand her? Green 19. Green 19.
Yeah. Ivan, did you see season 4 of Ted Lasso got announced?
Oh, it did?
Yes. Sudeikis announced it on the New Heights podcast, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't been tuning in the New Heights a whole lot, but Emerson Kennedy a little slow to get up there.
Yeah, she's walking around a little bit. Ball to Addy Butler gets intercepted there. Ball back to the goalkeeper. Reset the defense a little bit. Maybe a chance for Kennedy to talk to the goalkeeper. Definitely does not, or not the goalkeeper, the referee, excuse me. Butler plays it right at the touchline. Finds Smith. It's a long ball to Kennedy that I'm not sure she was ready for.
Honestly, that was cleared well.
Yeah.
Pretty well there, even with the contact.
It very well could be these teams are starting to slow down a little bit because of those energy levels, but definitely a lot more clear grass for these teams whenever they do possess the ball. A lot less, pressure, because they're preserving their energy. They're playing in this latter half of the game, but this could provide a little bit more offense for these girls. These lights just turned off. We're officially in the evening. as the Knights find themselves in the offensive third once again. As Ivan, it's officially freshman alert, back in goalkeeper. Maggie New checks into the game. The backup to Jenna Smith with this big lead, get her a chance to play early. Very cool opportunity for her. And if I'm not mistaken, the only freshman on the field.
I believe so.
Big time opportunity for her. Congratulations, Maggie New.
Ooh.
And a great head ball
By the senior, Addy Butler.
Addy Butler. I bet Mr. Coach Havermill, very, very proud of her for that one. Coaches always preach, get a head on that ball when it gets into the box, and Addy found herself in the right position and put a great, great head on that ball.
One member of our student section was very amped about that goal. Stood up out of their seat.
Yeah, that student section for a Friday game right before spring break, definitely a lot more packed than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, and girls soccer isn't really a sport you see a whole lot of students come out to.
Yeah.
Mainly parents.
Yeah, it's exciting to have a bit of a student section. I know those players are excited to play for their peers. The main ones we see is basketball, football, pick out those big crowds. I feel like with spring sports, it doesn't really, not as many big student sections. It's cool that these soccer players have the opportunity to do that.
Even volleyball gets quite a crowd.
Yeah, I guess I totally forgot about them, yeah. Yeah, those boys volleyball play their first game of the season this Tuesday against Central.
I believe.
Big time opponent early. First home game, excuse me.
I believe they played Zumwalt North.
Yes.
yesterday?
Zumwalt North. I believe 3-0.
Yeah, big 3-0 dub.
Great way to start their season.
Now that we're on the topic of spring sports, tennis also, I believe, had their first match of the year.
Yeah, they traveled to Columbia yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. 8-1 victory.
Another very, very good program here, even with a new coach.
Yes, Zach Howard. I got the chance to speak with him a little bit before tonight's game. Had practice tonight. Prepare for a bunch of matches together real tight with those tennis schedules. They play 3 matches a week potentially in the middle of the season. So definitely jam-packed schedule. So whenever they do get the practice, definitely a good opportunity for them. But like Ivan just said, they started their season really well yesterday with a win.
Speaking of tennis,
just
earlier before this live stream, my co-host Braeden Kettinger was taken out.
Bringing it up, Ivan.
Right by the tennis courts. By a tennis player, I believe.
Yep. Edward Lee took the opportunity, saw me walking into the building for this live stream, got splashed. But it's all right. I had a good run. I got somebody out in the first round. It was a ton of fun. I got the opportunity to play Senior Splash. Really only a one-time opportunity. It was really fun.
Just so you know, next year, I will not be losing.
Ivan will not be losing. You heard it here first. I hope somebody makes like a hype video to this, Ivan. They're pulling your sound clip right now, and they're like, I'm not losing. And then they show the clip of you getting splashed on the first day.
I really, really hope not. You will not catch me without my goggles. I'm taking extended leave from work.
Oh, okay.
24/7. I'll be saving up money just for that purpose.
Ivan, it's easier than it looks. Especially if you have actual swim goggles, they restrict your vision quite a bit.
Hey, I've been swimming since I was 3.
Okay.
Not 3. Maybe over exaggeration. My dad taught me whenever I was really young.
Big time swimmer.
I'm dialed. Not really.
Okay.
No, not really.
He's ready to wear goggles though.
I'm ready to wear goggles. Not ready to swim. But don't quote me. But I won't be getting out. Don't quote me.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Addy Butler is still in the game. So after this game, right back into it. She's going to throw those goggles on right away. She's safe during a school event, but as soon as it ends, she's right back in it.
Definitely got to keep your head on a swivel.
She's got to keep her head on the swivel in the game, and then as soon as the game ends, right back to it. Speaking of head on a swivel, good save by that Pirate goalkeeper. 25 minutes to go in this contest. 4-0 the score. Better defense from these Pirates. They have collected a goal. Speaking of Addy Butler, she takes it herself. A lot of green grass in front of her. Good move to find Sharma, but that will not get there. Sharma chase after that ball by the wingback. Good cutoff by Ramirez. She looks to keep this in the offensive third. Good move. Finds Brightwell, but tough touch that will not stay in bounds. We are just now ticking under that 25 mark.
North's goalies really haven't had a whole lot to fear here.
Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, I was never too interested in playing goalie because it always looked so boring. You know, but I definitely think Miss Maggie New in her first game definitely appreciates it, not having to do too much in her debut.
I mean, heading back to whenever I was talking about playing soccer, I bet you won't believe it, but I played goalie. And
I thought you were a striker, Ivan.
yeah, man, you would have thought I was a midfielder. So I mean, as an experienced goalie, it's a little boring at times. But I mean, if it's boring, it means you're winning.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably a good thing when it's boring, right?
Yeah, you kind of just chill back there, watch your teammates score, and be like, yeah, let's go.
I know in a lot of sports it takes a lot of mental toughness to play goalie because, I mean, your goal the whole time is you want the ball to hit you. You want the puck to hit you. You know, you want to get hit as much as you can. So it definitely takes a lot of mental toughness.
I mean, I got a buddy who plays goalie for our lacrosse team, our club lacrosse team. Says it's very scary.
Oh, yeah.
Lacrosse, those balls coming at you at
Those are tough. I've gotten hit with one of those balls before. Those are tough.
100 miles an hour.
Yeah, those are tough.
Maybe not 100, probably like 70. But, jeez.
Big time kick from Morgan Smith here. Pirates are orchestrating their wall. Looks like they will have 2 set, maybe 3. They will have 3 trying to block Morgan's view of the goal. What will she do here? Morgan puts it on net. That will be a save by the Pirate keeper.
Good kick, good save.
Sure that wind
Right
had a factor, I'm sure.
Right back to Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, we hit on it earlier. She hasn't been a big part of these offensive attacks, but she's definitely a part of every possession. The ball seems to find her feet more often than not. As Ramirez plays with it on the sideline. Butler has it in the center of the field. On that shield.
Lineberg gets it down to McCoy. Passes it up to Smith.
Ramirez plays it back to Smith. She'll try to switch the field. Excuse me. She'll stay right on that left sideline. Tries to find Sharma, but won't get there.
Wind increase, and those tassels on the field goal are going crazy right now.
Oh wow! The whole posts are coming.
They're swaying like those inflatable balloons in front of car washes.
No, I think we need North Night. What are those called?
The
right?
wobbly guys.
Wobbly guys. Yeah, I think we need we need a Norm wobbly guy at the back of an end zone.
Can we get a fact check on that real quick?
Wobbly guy? I like that. Wobbly guy. As Ramirez continues, she's going to try to switch the field here. Butler finds Portell. Back to Butler. Or not Butler, Brewer, excuse me. Portell has it near the touchline. Tries to regain possession there.
Appears they're
Vernon
called
deflects it.
A wacky, wavy, inflatable, arm flailing tube man.
Is there any kind of acronym there?
See if I can't make one.
Ivan, make our acronym here.
WWIAFTM.
Sounds more like a website.
YAFT.
YAFT? All right. I need a Norm YAFT stat.
I prefer inflatable guy.
I like wobbly guy.
Yeah,
I like wobbly guy.
It's much more simple.
Yeah. Ivan, how much longer till we have, a bit more to look at behind this north field where we've been looking at a big dirt pile for a while. When I look back to those clips of football season, we saw the field getting taken down, and for the last couple months we've been just seeing that big open space. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited to see when those bleachers go up and we have something to look at.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get bleachers, practice fields. I mean, you can see they're setting up the hill already.
Yeah.
I'm excited for all those people who will be able to run those hills during practice.
Yeah.
I mean, back in my day, junior nights, there's a hill right back here. Whew, it was awful. Probably good 85 degrees.
Oof.
Felt like I was climbing up a mountain.
Only part I don't miss about not being an athlete anymore.
Yeah.
85 and running. That doesn't. Not two things I want together.
I mean, we called the little marshland area pretty much what it was because it gathered so much rainwater down there. We called it Mosquito Land. Horrible.
Ivan, I think I've officially become old because this junior that's sitting right next to me is saying back in my day. So maybe I need to add that to my vocabulary.
I mean, only a year separating us, so.
I know, but that means I need to start saying stuff like back in my day.
I mean, back olden times.
Yeah, do I need to start saying yesteryear? Like, connecting some passes here. Fuller finds Butler.
Almost had a collision there between two Pirates.
Yeah, soccer's one of those underrated contact sports, in my opinion. Not necessarily a contact sport, but with the pace in which they play, there's definitely a lot of potential for injuries. We saw it with Olivia Krazel just earlier in this game. She went down with an injury just celebrating with her teammates. These girls are playing with a ton of intensity, a ton of pace, and for a ton of adrenaline for one. So a ton of potential for injuries. So
yeah,
definitely underrated in that regard.
Almost had a shipwreck there.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember when I tried out, you have to take an impact test to play this sport. So definitely one where, you have to keep in mind about the injuries. So definitely a lot of respect for these girls going out there and playing with the intensity that they do. As Brewer tries to trace this one down. Just play it back to her freshman keeper.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of headers we've seen tonight, concussions are very, very possible.
Yeah, it's all about how you hit that ball, right? It's important to strike it right with the front of your forehead rather than like on the very top of your head. A lot more potential for concussion.
Never, never, never a good thing. I'm fortunate to have never had a diagnosed one. So.
You say diagnosed there, Ivan. You think you've been concussed at least once or twice?
I mean, everybody probably has.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but anybody who's played a contact sport.
Yeah.
Probably at least once or twice. Just never thought about it. Just maybe a little headache.
Yeah.
Nothing much.
See the ball out of bounds again. Ramirez throws it in. All in all, Ivan, very, very strong season debut for these Knights. Came out here after on the backs of a down season in all last year under Coach Olwig. New coaching this year with Coach Havermill, and he has these girls playing really, really well. More of a transition period for this team, and they come out with a 4-0 victory potentially.
Yeah, Havermill, former golf coach, took his job over the summer, I believe, after Olwig's retirement.
New principal, Havermill.
Oh yeah, he'll be dean.
Congratulations, Mr.
Assistant
Havermill.
AD. Wish I could.
Current Mr. Weiskopf job. Everybody's moving up the ladder.
Wish I could have taken human geography with him. Was planning on it. He's like, nope, not going to be here next year. I'm like,
oh gosh,
I'm not going to be in this class. Not.
I was going to say he's going to be here. You'll see him.
I know. He just won't be in the school or in the classroom anymore.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if he stays coaching with his new position. We saw Coach Bevel have a similar position this year with principal at the same time of coaching football. I'm not sure if he will stay doing that. That will be curious to see.
I believe it's like against during the football season. I think Bevel mentioned that it was against some type of rule. So might only see one more year of Havermill coaching. Hopefully not.
Yeah, potentially Dean has a different set of rules than official principal.
Right, compared to assistant principal, yeah.
Regardless, for this season, Havermill has his girls playing very, very well to start this season. His assistant, Travis Carrier, he does not teach here, but he is the head coach for the boys. They swapped roles for the 2 different seasons. I bet that's kind of fun for those two, right? You know, Carrier calling the shots a little bit in the fall, and then when it comes springtime, you know, Havermill gets to have a little bit more control on what they're doing. But it should seem to be a great pairing, those two.
A little bit of a embellishment there by Kennedy.
Yeah. Plays it up the sideline. She tries to play it through, but that will be off a Pirate player, and that will be another throw-in on the sideline.
I feel like coaching boys and girls soccer has got to be pretty fun for these two guys. They've obviously got to have a pretty strong connection.
Obviously similar considering it's soccer, but I definitely view it as 2 different games when we're talking about coaching. With the boys, we look at a lot more technically. You know, you'll see a lot more foot skills. You'll see a lot more, technical moves. But with these girls, you're going to see a lot more fundamental passing. You're going to see, you know, pressure. I'd say it's a lot more on the coaching to build a game plan when we're talking about girls as compared to boys. Boys, we're talking about fitting, you know, 11 guys, 11 of the best guys in your squad and trying to fit them into a game plan. So definitely 2 different sports in terms of coaching.
Yeah, I feel like girls soccer is a lot more team oriented compared to boys.
Yeah, speaking of boys soccer, we see a lot of those players in the student section tonight. Definitely these 2 programs probably close considering the same coaching staff. You know, some of these players are the team managers for these girls and vice versa for girls in the fall. You know, very cool to see these 2 programs be united and these boys showing out for their counterpart.
Lots of very intertwined. I'd say that.
Ivan, we hit on March Madness a little bit earlier in the stream, but you know, a few games later tonight, I saw earlier my Tar Heels fell to Ole Miss Rebels.
Very, very happy about that. I am.
You can't let me have one game.
I mean, they shouldn't have been in the tournament in the first place. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey man, listen, they played the heck out of that first 4 game.
Yeah.
They beat the brakes off of San Diego State.
But you got to realize it's a Mountain West team compared to the SEC with Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a big factor. Very close game, the Ole Miss North Carolina game. If I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, it was about a 7-point deficit at the end of that second half.
I think one statistic that got a lot of people during the March Madness or during the regular season was about how the SEC is 500 against each other. It's not really a wild statistic given that SEC teams playing each other. One team's going to win, one team's going to lose.
Yeah.
But definitely got a lot of people. Got a lot of people showing how difficult the SEC is as a conference. But every other conference is 500 as well.
It's interesting to see, right? Like I'm sure considering 16 of 18 teams in the SEC did.
I think it was it 16 or 14?
Maybe it's 14 out of 16.
I don't know,
That's
but
what it was. 14 out of 16. But I mean,
new record
over 80% of your conference making it to the NCAA tournament. A really great showing, and I mean, certainly a reason for why they're being considered the best basketball conference right now.
Pretty sure saw a video about how they shattered the Big Sky's former record of most conference teams making it to the tournament. 14 teams and 2 1 seeds.
2 1 seeds, yeah, that was definitely a
3
curious
1
one.
Excuse me.
Is it 3?
Seeds. Auburn, Florida, Alabama.
Alabama's a 2 seed.
Oh, 2. Apologies.
But I mean, regardless, I mean, three teams in the top 8 seeds.
Who else is in there? I think
Mizzou fell yesterday at the 6th seed.
Unfortunately, not gonna lie, I predicted that one. Even as I like Mizzou.
Ivan, I think it's your fault. I think it's your fault.
I mean, I had Mizzou in one bracket. I had Drake in another one.
You made multiple brackets? I'm a 1 bracket kind of guy.
I got two brackets. You know, I submitted one for the school. That's not doing too great, but my personal bracket, very proud of it. Very proud of it.
After yesterday in the FHN Game Day one, I was at about 40% of my picks. after looking at it today. I believe I'm at 65%, so definitely looking a little better, climbing the rankings a little bit. I was definitely happy to see St. John's win yesterday. I have them predicted to win the entire tournament. Ivan's looking at his bracket right now, and he is
Sorry about that.
Only one miss.
I got 3.
3 misses?
But
you're at 99%.
I'm at 99%, but predicted Colorado State, predicted Maryland. I mean, Maryland's not really I think my only incorrect ones are Mississippi State, VCU, and
I had that VCU one as well. Yes.
I don't know. I was trying to be of a. Oh no, never mind. I thought Troy was leading. I was incorrect.
I cannot believe you picked Troy over UK.
You never know, man. You never know. You gotta have faith. I was also kind of just messing around. Surprised it's doing so well.
Cameron Portell plays a long ball to Amari Jones. Yeah, I mean, they have lost in those early rounds quite a few times in the recent memory.
Yeah, I mean, currently for the bracket I submitted for the school, I'm in 89th place with a smooth 52% compared to 99.4 for my other bracket. As down goes
Claire Brightwell.
Helped up by Marissa Williams, it seems.
That's a big-time foul.
Yeah. Free kick, possibly?
For sure, free kick.
Piers Williams will take it as trainer comes on the field. Brightwell's walking all right. Seems like she got headbutted, possibly.
Hopefully she's doing all right, walking around okay.
Yeah.
If I'm Coach Havermill, definitely get her a breather and have her go check in with the trainer. Have her out here in a few minutes, but make sure she's doing all right.
Possible impact tests need to be taken.
Yeah.
Getting back to impact testing. Seems like we got a bit of a commentator's jinx here, sadly.
Seems she may be arguing a little bit. Maybe she thinks she's all right. All right, she's going to head off the field. Hopefully she's doing all right.
Hopefully she's okay, and we get to see her back later in this half. Nah, probably not. Only 10 minutes left with a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, I'd keep her on the bench for the rest of tonight, but great performance from her quite a few times where her and Morgan Smith were quite a dynamic duo in the middle of that field. Really great with those transitions from defense to offense. That brought Emerson Kennedy back onto the field. And a shot hits the crossbar. Oh, and a rough touch in the box. That will be called offsides. But a really great shot off the crossbar. Pirates will play that quickly. Playing against the clock more than anything at this point. Kylie Ramirez. Oh, my gosh. Gets the stop there. Plays it back to her center back.
That's Abby Kroom. Down to the goalie.
Maggie New plays a long ball for Maddie Brewer. Brewer has not checked out of this game. Big-time pillar for this team. Played at varsity all 4 years. We talked about her a little bit earlier, committed to Illinois College, but has played a big-time role for this team tonight. New holds the ball.
That wind's still howling. Hearing it blow against the press box.
Yeah, and we saw it the opposite way for that Pirate goalkeeper the last time she booted it. This opposite happened for New. That ball kind of just died in the middle of the air.
As
Cameron Portell cannot stop that one. We tick to about 7.5 minutes to go in this second half. We've seen a bit of a slow second half here. We've not seen the score move in about, pretty much the entirety of the second half. That fourth goal came pretty early, and these two teams have kind of played back and forth a lot this entirety of the second half. Two teams definitely moving the ball well on both sides. St. Charles started a little slow and is a main catalyst for this, lopsided score, but definitely have looked stronger in this second half as they are moving the ball a little bit in the offensive.
I feel like North definitely came in here with something to prove, and maybe St. Charles that hasn't fully gotten their feet underneath them yet.
Yeah, Ivan, I've given him a lot of credit, but Coach Habermill's had these girls very prepared for tonight. I've loved the pressure and intensity that they've come out with. A really great defense. They've enclosed their half very, very well. Ton of chances at goal, and they've capitalized 4 times. So really, really great game for them.
Even without any preseason competition, as previously noted. No jamborees, no nothing.
We'll throw it in. Bit of keep away in their defensive half, I'm sure. Try to shed a little bit of time. Brewer pushes it upfield a bit. Finds Butler. Butler finds Portell. Playing with it in the air.
Only about 6 minutes left here. Just trying to chew that clock.
Brewer plays it back to Williams plays it back to Brewer, excuse me. Butler pushing it upfield. Plays a long ball to Portell, but won't stay inbounds. That will be Pirate ball.
Even with this sturdy lead, Knight's still playing very tight defense as the ball is headed out of bounds.
Definitely a lot of intensity for this team. Like with a 4-goal lead, typical teams will just play, keep away for the rest of the game and kind of call it an end. But these Knights haven't taken their foot off the gas pedal at all and played a really, really great game from start to finish.
Yeah.
Vernon plays it back to her goalkeeper.
As we say that, trying to play some more keep away.
Yeah, as we tick under 5 minutes, you're definitely not going to try to push. You definitely prioritize possession over anything. Make sure this other team doesn't take what is already yours. This is your game in your hands. Make sure that you can close it out.
Right. Different sport, but there's a famous story about Tracy McGrady. 13 points in 33 seconds. You don't want the equivalent of that happening here.
Exactly. It's 4 minutes. It's not a whole ton of time, but you can score 4 goals in 4 minutes if you're not playing your game. So make sure you don't take your foot off the gas pedal, and if you do, prioritize possession.
Yeah, you just got to stay locked in.
So we see ball go all the way back to that back fence. Knights definitely aren't against that. Shaving off more time off this clock. Oh, excuse me. They did stop the clock for that one. New will get her defensive set. She'll play it out wide to Brewer. Brewer will be slow to take it out of her defensive third. Plays Portell. Back to Butler. Back to Portell. Brewer.
Stolen there by a Pirate.
Tries to clear it. She will regain possession. Tries to get it in the offensive. Butler plays it up. A ton of green grass in front of her. Amari Jones. She does get out chased, but she is not stopping the fight. Portell heads that out of bounds. Brewer changes fields.
Kroon passes up to appears to be.
Williams is the one that just lost possession. So that will be a change of possession. Pirates will have a free kick in the middle of the field, right on the edge of that shield. That was a bar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm rapping, Ivan.
Dunking on your rap, and I'm stacking, making it happen.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
Pirates with a good offensive possession there. Stopped yet again by those Knights. Can't talk on it enough. This defense has performed very well for the Knights and been a big catalyst for just how dominant they've been tonight.
I mean, if we had some advanced metrics, I'd tell you about. It's definitely an impressive statistic how little those Pirates have been in the offensive third.
Oh, 1,000%. And I bet that possession number is even more, staggering. It's
time of possession, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the same, but in FIFA, I've never been one to prioritize possession percentage. If that number's somewhere in the 40s to 30s and I won the game, I don't care.
I mean, goals are goals.
Goals are goals. Hey, the number that we count as the final score is how many goals I scored, not how long I held the ball.
You don't win the game off of advanced metrics. You win the game of who has a higher number.
Exactly.
Or if you're playing golf, who has a lower number.
Yep. Went and played golf the other day for my birthday. Definitely. It was my birthday, right? I'm not going to write down the.
Dude, I've been trying to get you
score.
to go play golf with me forever.
Okay, let's go play golf.
Okay, you got money for
All
it?
right. Well, notice how I said I played on my birthday there, Ivan.
I might.
Went up to Pheasant Run.
Stepdad's a big golf guy. Might be able to ask him. I do not have money for that.
I've been trying to get more and more into golf. I got a set a few years ago for my birthday and just trying to play more and more.
I just steal my mom's clubs. They're a little small, but do the trick.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was stealing my left-handed putter as a righty. So
lefty putter?
Yeah. So my dad has less shame than you do.
I mean, yeah.
That's okay. I putted between my legs.
All right.
And that will be our final buzzer for this game. 4-0 our score. A dominant win for these Knights. Great game. Our final score, 4-0 Knights over Pirates. 2 scores from Lexi Lones, a score from Emerson Kennedy. And the first one coming from Kylie Ramirez.
I think that last one was Addy Butler.
Oh, excuse me, Addy Butler. Gosh, Addy Butler. Don't let me count out the senior.
Hey.
Definitely well distributed those goals. A really great game for both sides. For sure, something to learn for these Pirates. They struggled with their time of possession and something to work on heading into the next game. But yeah, really great game for these Knights. And a great debut performance for Coach Havermill. That will be all for tonight. Thursday, April 3rd, catch this next girls soccer live stream. I'm Braeden Kettinger, joined by my partner, Ivan Pitts. It's been a pleasure to be with you tonight. Good night.